Good morning. I'm Steve here at Eagle Creek Farm, and it's the 8th of April. It's almost exactly 12 o'clock, about 5 minutes till 12. The temperature here is already up a little over 70. We're supposed to have close to an 80-degree day, a little bit over 80 today, but today's the day I need to look in this beehive. It's an active beehive, and I've not been in it since winter, and so it's wintered over. And I have an objective today. I'm going to put a bottom board in. It's a perforated bottom board. I do that so that the varroa mites, if they get kicked off by the bees, they fall down on this. They go right straight down through the hive, or the bees will work them down through the hive by cleaning themselves. And then it'll fall into the bottom of this tray, and then of course the varroa mites that are not stuck on a bee, they won't live. Now I have bee gear here. I've got a bee veil, and I've got bee gloves, and I may resort to using those. I put a hat on. I always like to wear a hat because if the bees get in your hair and get tangled up, they can get ticked off, and that gets them upset, and the next thing you know, you've got mad bees buzzing around your head. So anyway, I've got an old block here, an oak block. That's just the top weight on the top cover. And then once we pop this off, we'll be into the bees. There'll be a false cover on the top of this. And here's a few bees here just crawling around on the top. I always like to inspect and get rid of any wax moth or webbing or anything in there. This is not wax moth, this is just some spider stuff. And I'll set that over to the side. Then we get down to the false top. Now, I'm not using smoke. Sometimes I do. This beehive has been moderately calm and nice to work with all last year. They are a small variety of bees, and so far they've not hit me in the face, so hopefully they're going to be okay today. Now, all of that stuff, I just lay it over to the side, and now to take a look down in here to see what I can see, and there's a lot of bees working in here. And I noticed this morning when I was standing here in front of the hive that they are bringing in a lot of stores today. A lot of pollen, and of course probably every 5th or 6th bee is bringing in pollen. Now these two supers here, that belongs to the bees, and I leave them that all year long. And you can see that what they're putting up here, I don't know how well you can see it, but that pattern of yellow that you see in there, that's pollen all in here. So they're putting pollen in there. There's quite a lot of it all through here. So no honey here yet, but boy, that's about probably close to half of those cells have pollen in them. Maybe not quite that much, but that's pretty good. That's I don't know how much stores they had left after winter. Like I said, this is the first time I've been in this hive this year. But I know last year when we went into the winter, this was completely full of pollen and honey. Well, there's some weight to that one. Yeah, this is a frame. Here you can see, maybe I can get it to where you can see. I've just got my camera propped up here on the hive next to it, but all of this here, this is all capped honey. Now it's got a darker top on it, cap on it, so I'm guessing that most of this honey here probably did not get used by the bees this last year. Now, difficult I know for you to see. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick this camera up and then I'll put it back down where it is. But getting some sun on that will be able to, you'll be able to see the pollen in there. Might even notice some of that is pretty red and yellow, some gray, and bees working on that. That is an excellent looking frame. Let me turn it around here. One thing that would never, I don't think, ever work out to be good is to have one hand or one arm and be a beekeeper. So this is not going to work very well, but I want to just show you here in the corner, looking at right there, that's capped honey. That's got some nice new comb. And then look at all of this pollen. I mean, that frame right there is almost completely full of pollen. But you see the shininess there? Can't point it out, but you should be able to see that on the camera. That's fresh honey. That's being brought in right now. And so, like I was saying, my objective today was to inspect this hive and kind of get an idea of where they're at, how strong they might be, and also to put on a honey super. Now, a honey super that I use, well, I have several of different sizes, but the ones that I use, or I'm going to use right now, is the small or half honey super. It's half as big as, or half as deep, a little over, but about half as deep as this, and that one only holds 9 frames. The purpose of the 9 frames, I don't use it a lot, but I bought these frames from somebody and they already had these little separators in them, so you can only get 9 frames in there. Again, honey stored here. The center looks pretty much the same as that frame that we just got done looking at. And okay, well, I'm gonna get the camera again because I want to show you something else here. Another thing would be to try to determine whether or not your queen is here. Let me see if I can lay this down. No, I can't lay that down because that would mash bees. So right up here in the corner in the frames is right in there is, let me see if I can rest this on my leg. Yeah, I can. Okay, right in here, right all in here, that's all capped honey. And then you can see the pollen all through here. That's nice pollen. And there's a lot of it there. You can see the sun on that. I'm hoping that's in focus. But look right down here. See this white in there? that right there is all brood. So, kind of unintentional, but right now I can say that I have inspected this hive to see if the queen is okay, and she certainly is. Now that brood right there is probably 6 or 7 days old. They're starting probably be capping that up and feeding them a little bit for now, and then they'll cap all of that. Now here's some over here. I'm hoping you can see down in there. That's only like 4 days old. Starts off with a little egg, and I know for a fact I wouldn't be able to show you an egg on the camera because I can't hardly see them sometimes with my eye. Boy, I pissed him off. Brushed him off on the block. Let's see, okay. Well, maybe not intending to do so, but I've also discovered something here, and that is that my queen is okay. Now, I didn't expect that I would find my queen up this high. I expected that she would be down below, but I didn't see her there. Again, a quick look. No queen. No queen here. I'm going to start putting these back in. If I were to find the queen and she would be up here in this upper super, then I might think about doing a flip, because I want to start her out on the bottom, and then usually they'll fill up from the bottom and then come up. But anyway, so far that's looking great on this side. I don't see quite as many bees over here on this side of the hive. Boy, they're being really nice bees today. Again, another frame's got some capped honey. Again, that dark comb tells me that's probably left over from last year. And 20-25% maybe pollen. Okay, well, I don't like to get much deeper than that right here, right now. Like I said, my main objective was to come here and see if I could find or to put on a honey super. I'm going to look for this queen again here and get the sun just right. Ha! I do see eggs in there. It's a waste of time to try to show you on the camera, I know that, but now on this frame I've got 7-day-old brood, 4-day, 3-day. Right in here I've got a big swipe of just little eggs that are laid today or yesterday. So she's up here. She's been up here anyway. She may go back down below. I'm not going to take the bottom super off. They are doing well. Got plenty of stuff coming in, and this tells me that I do need to put this super on here because the honey flow is starting. Now, you see what I mean? This one is smaller. It's not as deep. And so I'm going to go ahead and, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put it on. Always have a little problem of getting the seating surfaces all cleared so you don't mash any bees. Now, what we got here is just foundation on this. This is a wooden frame, and it's got wire in this fresh comb. That's slightly drawn out, left over from last year. But then right next to it, I've got 7 of these. Oh, they're stuck. Okay. 7 of these plastic frames. Now, some people say they don't like plastic, and I don't know that if I had all nice new crisp wooden frames and everything, it'd be fine. But you see, this has the pre-drawn comb on it. This you can't hurt. And it's the large cell. That'll mean something to some of you, but it's not the small cell. This is a bigger cell. Well, you can put this in an extractor, and you can sling this around that extractor after you've decapped it. You just take an electric knife or any knife and cut that off and put it in the extractor, and it slings these around inside and slings the honey out. Once you get the honey out, you can take it right back in and put it right back in the hive. And sometimes if you catch it just right in the honey flow, they will, by nighttime, they'll have that thing, or within 24 or 48 hours, they'll have that thing almost completely full again. It won't be capped because they'll have to dehydrate it, but that is what I like. And a hive beetle. That was the only one I seen. I don't know where it came from, but it got up here pretty quick. This is a little false top here just to give them a little security, and it kind of defines for them the top of the hive. And put the top back on. Okay, so there you go. We worked the beehive and didn't get stung, didn't even have an excited bee. I had one that got a little ticked at me because I brushed him off on that when I was trying to set it up there. So today we didn't need this. I have seen times though, and I don't know what it is. I can tell you a little, maybe, but I know one thing: they don't like humans' bad breath. Before I came down here, I brushed my teeth with a mint toothpaste, and then I gargled with a mint mouthwash. That was just within minutes of coming out on the back porch and starting this video. I like to do that because I can tell you in the past, I've had little bee meetings with people and go to these bee clubs and everything. And they said, boy, the minute I popped the top off of it, it got hit right in the lips or in the mouth or whatever. And, you know, I hate to say when I'm in the meeting, well, you got bad breath, but that might be the case. In my case, I have known times when I've had bad breath, and that upsets them. And I don't like to use a smoker if I don't have to. Didn't have to today. The next non-obtrusive deal would be to mix up a little bit of sugar water in a spray thing, and you spray it. Well, that calms bees down too, because you spray them with that sugar water, they start licky on each other, trying to clean that off, and they forget all about you. But if you're wanting to move those bees around on that frame where you can see down in there, sometimes just a little blow like that on them, and they'll just move away from where that breath hit that. And so in the past, I've opened up a hive and got hit immediately. Just open up the thing, pop, crack the top, and bang, get hit right in the face with one that's ticked off. Now, they have pheromones they release, and of course they can smell that venom. That bee stings you one time and he's a goner. He has sacrificed his life for protection of the hive, her life for protection of the hive. And and they'll leave the stinger in. Well, if you can scrape that stinger, I don't dare pinch it and try to pull it, because the venom sac is attached to that little barb on the end of that stinger, and if you just reach up there and pinch it, you'll just pinch that venom sac and squirt more venom in. But if you take a hive tool or your fingernail or whatever and just scratch it right off, you'll get rid of it, and it don't affect me much. It's a little worse than maybe a mosquito bite, but within a couple of hours I won't even know that I've had them. And I've been stung 6-8 times, maybe on the hands or arms. On the face, that might swell up my eyes a little bit, but not much. So I'm not really allergic to the bees. They don't bother me. Their sting, there's a little reflex action there. Sometimes when they sting you, you might jerk and whatever, but for the most part, what they're giving up is their life and protection for that hive, and they're gone. And well, what I was going to say, I've had other hives that just for some reason they're just more agitatable. They seem like they're bred that way. So sometimes if you have that happen, then you know your hives. I come down here 2 times a day. In the morning I come down and look at my bees on the way to do my chores, and in the evening I look at them when I come down and do my chores in the evening. And so I talk to them and they get to know me, and as you can tell, that was a really nice hive. Anyway, just a quick video to let you know what's going on here on the farm today, April the 8th. By the way, I've got, I'll show you this. I've got another hive stacked here. It's a different make of hive made by the Appy May company. And that's what I call a storm trap. A storm trap. I say that all the time. It's a swarm trap. That's got a little bit of lemongrass scented oil in it. It's got some old drawn comb from last year, and I put that here in case one is so close, because in the springtime, if this hive gets full and the queens, whatever, they talk to each other and decide they want a new queen or whatever, she may leave. And I've had them come right here to the north of the hive and light in these fruit trees. So I've caught my own swarm and then bring them back and put them in a box and start another hive. I anticipate, I see the sun is bothering you there. I anticipate that I will probably get a swarm this year, but counting this swarm trap, I have 4 set out on the farm in various places, and those hopefully, starting right now, and this is April the 8th, and we've got some beautiful weather, but starting right now, I should be checking my swarm traps every other day to see if I catch a swarm. So, but I'm hoping that I end up the end of the year with maybe another hive, a good maintained 2 hives. We got what do we get? We got 12 gallons of honey last year out of 2 hives, and this hive that I got it out of, they absconded about halfway through the year, so they only got a half a year working out of them. So generally speaking, I give a little bit away as gifts, and then the rest of it we use here on the farm. My wife uses it in cooking to take place of sugar, processed sugar. It's a simple sugar, but she uses it that way. I think it's a little healthier. But anyway, today's a great day to work the bees, and I was glad I was able to get down and show you what we did. We added a honey super there. This thing here, I'm betting the way the weather is, and I noticed a 10-day forecast, a beautiful forecast. I'm betting that within probably 2, maybe 3 weeks at the most, it'll be time to put another honey super on here and sit down here in front of the hive just to show you a little closer example. Hopefully that's a closer example. Let's see. Yeah, the camera. Yeah. Now, you look at this, I can tell you that when we opened up this beehive, you may have thought there was a lot of bees there. That's a fraction of the bees that are in this hive, because it's a beautiful sunny day and they're all out working. Good time to work your hives is there in the middle of the day when all of the worker bees are gone, because you can come in here like that, work them for 15-20 minutes, And that worker bee may be 6, 7, 8 miles away collecting, and they'll never even know you came. So there's one. Look at that. That's got pollen all over it. I might show you another one. I won't sit here too long because I don't want to bore you. When they're coming back, the worker bees are coming back. They're either coming back with nectar. If they're coming back with nectar, you won't see anything on them. So there's your honey producers there. They're bringing back nectar. But the other bees that come in will have pollen. And there's one, two right there. Had quite a bit of pollen on them. Anyway, thanks for watching. We're again, just to mention to you, Eagle Creek Farm, and we're on lockdown. I call it lockdown. My wife says you shouldn't be calling it that. It's actually quarantine. Yeah, well, we're on quarantine here. Started on the 13th of March. Everything's going fine. Talk to you guys later. One more thing. If you're not prepared, let this coronavirus emergency or pandemic at least open your eyes to the fact that you might be able to do something to be better prepared. I don't know what it is. Might be just to make sure you have a set of good glasses, or you went in and had your dental work done, or whatever. I have a little chip on a tooth, and now I'm thinking I should have had that taken care of, but I didn't. It's not bothering me, but I'll probably make it through this fine. But just that's something that kind of should be a thing that you think about when it comes to preparedness. I don't think I would be good at pulling my own teeth. So when I can get out from under this quarantine, I'm going to get in and get that taken care of. Anyway, have a great day. God bless you. Call a friend. Call a neighbor. If they're older, be sure and call them. It's good. We get phone calls from people from our church or calling and just wanting to know how we are. And we call them, we talk, and whatever. It's good to stay in touch. And also remember that for some reason, we as humans don't like to say we need anything. So even when you're calling and say, is there anything I can do for you? Don't just take that, oh no, we're doing fine. Investigate it a little bit and find out if they've got plenty of, produce. Are they able to put a meal on the table and things like that? And maybe they would open up and they'd have a way to help them out. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye for now.